We gotta show everybody who we really are. Are you kidding me?
Mahomes, magic! You can doubt the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs.
It is a dynasty.
We continue our divisional takes in the AFC West, focusing on the Kansas City Chiefs, whose revenge tour begins week 1 against their division rival Chargers. The Chargers should be good this year. Casey coming off a very disappointing performance in Super Bowl 59 as the Eagles dominated the game in New Orleans this season. Chiefs star tight end Travis Kelce looking to have a bounce-back season after finishing with a career-low 823 receiving yards as well as 3 receiving touchdowns last year. Can Casey win a Super Bowl with Travis Kelce playing a small role?
I think they are going into this season understanding that Kelce has to play a smaller role. Andy Reid talks about how Travis may not know that he's getting older, but I do, and I have to be mindful of overuse, you know, monitoring how the type of snaps, how often he's used. I do think that Travis, he admittedly will say, I regressed last season. He came in and said, I feel like I let guys down. He lost some weight. That's what I do. He lost some weight. He feels good. But I think they don't need Travis Kelce of old. Like every year, the Chiefs' offense sort of retools and they find new ways to win. I think him on the field is paramount, but you don't need every throw to go to Travis Kelce. You need him there in key spots, and it could be a small role, and they could still be successful.
Yeah, I don't think that they can win with him having a small role. Smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smaller. And
smaller.
as you had said, smaller. But I think situationally he has to be huge. It has to be big on third down. It has to be big in the red area. It has to be big in the fourth quarter. It has to be big in 2-minute situations. It can't be one of those situations where Travis can't get off the line of scrimmage, is just standing there watching Patrick throw the ball to a bunch of wide receivers that can't make plays in crucial situations. And that's not to say that these wide receivers won't step up this year, but he has to be big in those situations I'm talking about. And when you're talking about preserving him for down the road, as far as Andy, like monitoring his reps within games and then from week to week, he has to be big come November, December, because you know they're going to be playing January football. Yeah. So he has to be bigger than even in September. So look, I think maybe if they can get through the regular season, can get to the dance with him playing a smaller role. But I think once they get to the postseason, he has to have as fresh as legs as possible, and they have to utilize him to really control the middle of the field and be a chain mover to complement everything else that they've tried to put around Patrick this year, which is namely a better offensive line, a lot of speed at running back, and really Xavier Worthy needing to take that next step and become Tyreek Hill light on the outside. But there's no way. They just don't have someone else who can do the things that Travis can do in terms of knowing the game the way he knows it and knowing it situationally the way he knows it. He just needs to be locked in and understand that that's going to be what his role is going to be.
I'm surprised he came back, but he's got a lot of pride. He all knows that he did not play well last year. They got killed in the Super Bowl. He was not a factor. He's a hauler. We all know how great he is. I'm going to expect him to come back with a little purpose, a little chip on his shoulder, and a good performance. If anybody thinks the Chiefs are not the best team in this division by far, they're not paying attention. They never lose to the Chargers. They never lose to the Raiders. They kill the Broncos at home year after year after year. They win the division with 2-3 games to go, which gives them a chance to handle the end of the year properly with bye weeks and all those things. You want to tell me that Buffalo, the Ravens, we can go through the teams, that they are a little more vulnerable against a real good team, and in January we'll find that out? How about that? How about that? But there was absolutely no way with that guy at quarterback listen, he's got a chip on his shoulder too. You're telling me that and Reed, that they're not going to come back? They're going to kill the Chargers in Sao Paulo, that first game of the year, wherever they're playing. Where they're playing that first game? They're playing it somewhere.
Yes.
Some dopey place at the end of the
easy.
I mean, they will. You know, right? They make them travel to play week 1.
I'm just going to say this though. Okay, go ahead.
Can I say to Doggie's point?
Yep.
I was there last month in KC. sat down with Patrick Mahomes, sat down with Chris Jones, sat down with Andy Reid, and talked about the chip on their shoulder, how they got embarrassed by the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and how Andy Reid wanted to see guys come back in the offseason, who is going to take accountability, coaches and players alike, who's going to come in here and say, what we put on the field last year wasn't good enough. That said, they were 5-1 in the division, 8-0 at home. But and we would all agree their offense was not that great. Travis completely regressed. This season, I expect their offense. You don't think their offense is going to be better? You don't think it's the better Chiefs team?
No question.
So I think the key word is smaller. Because here's the thing: if you're using him in those situations, those are key situations. But you don't have to overload him from the standpoint of snaps and all of that.
Right.
So I think there's a way to do it where the role is different, but he's still vital.
Yep.
All right, let's dive into this division. The AFC West is absolutely loaded. Specifically, I want to look at the quarterbacks. Obviously, we talked about Patrick Mahomes, the top of the heap. But then they've also got Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, Geno Smith, who signed with the Raiders this offseason. So, Lewis, coming to you on this, and you can see all the quarterbacks up there right now. Is the AFC West now the best division in football? Because I've heard a lot of people are really high on the Chargers and the Broncos coming up this season, and even that the Raiders could potentially make some noise.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, I think you could definitely easily see 3 teams coming out of there, and you're sitting there going, man, the 4th team could wind up beating some teams that are obviously division winners, I think, throughout the rest of the league. No doubt, look, Kansas City has leveled up their football team. They are better this year than they were last year in every way, namely the offensive line. When you talk about the Chargers, they have to open up this offense on the outside and become more of a vertical throwing passing team. And they have done that. Look, they draft Trey Harris out of Ole Miss, Keandre Lambert-Smith out of Auburn, and to go along with Ladd McConkey, they've got some juice now. They've got some juice, and they arguably have maybe a top 3, top 4 offensive line, a bunch of running backs. Justin Herbert, you know how Harbaugh feels about him, and one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Let me clarify on one thing, Kimberly, before you jump in here. Is the AFC West the best quarterback division in the NFL?
No. No.
Now that?
No. Simply put, no. I'm going to take you to the AFC North, where 3 of the quarterbacks there last season, you can make a case all 3 could have been MVP last year. Joe Burrow literally carrying that team on his back. The parallel touchdown passes in the end zone. Lamar Jackson, you can make a case that he should have been MVP too. Josh Allen winning his first MVP. That to me is, Aaron Rodgers, sorry, not Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers in that division, I do think he is a good quarterback. I still think he still has potential for a playoff team.
Yep.
I think when I look at the AFC North and I look at the teams that could make the playoffs, I see the same way you said about the AFC West. You can make a case for all 3 of those teams. I would put the Bengals, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and the Steelers as teams that I would bank would be in the playoffs over, let's say, the Raiders or the Chargers. I don't understand the Justin Herbert of it all. I think he's very talented. But when we talk about these upper echelon quarterbacks, we're still waiting for the Justin Herbert to kind of take over. And we've kind of been waiting for a long time. Whereas I don't think you're...
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại kênh YouTube của mình. Mình thì làm người làm video sáng tạo nội dung trên nền tảng YouTube nha các bạn. Mình sẽ sáng tạo những video hướng dẫn cắt dán cho các bạn này. Đây là những sản phẩm của mình đã cắt dán rất nhiều sản phẩm của mình. Đây là giới thiệu cho các bạn cách mình tạo ra video viral của mình nha. Để tạo được video đẹp hay chất lượng cho các bạn xem, mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ như sau. Mình sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn biết nha. Đây là giấy tô màu các bạn, rất nhiều màu sắc này. Đấy. Nó có giấy màu vàng này, màu xanh này. Đây là màu xanh da trời nha các bạn này. Đây là giấy màu đỏ. Đây giấy cam này các bạn này, màu cam. Giấy màu vàng này, màu vàng. tạo ra được những sản phẩm tuyệt vời như thế này. Đấy, sản phẩm đang cầm đây là sản phẩm đẹp như vậy. Rất nhiều sản phẩm đây. Mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ tiếp theo sẽ là kéo để cắt, hút dạ là để vẽ và định hình, tô thêm những sắc màu đẹp cho sản phẩm. Đây là màu dán dán được chi tiết và cái sản phẩm này cắt dán vào cái này là mình sẽ cắt dán và dán vào sau, mình sẽ dán ở sau cắt kiểu như này. Mình sẽ cắt dán này, cắt và dán thêm điểm cho sản phẩm này. Và còn những dụng cụ không thể thiếu như là sau mình hay là chiếc chân kẹp điện thoại này. Đây là chiếc điện thoại quay lại quá trình mình tạo ra video. Đây là chiếc đèn cho ánh sáng. Kênh của mình cũng đã được nhận nút bảng, xin chúc mừng các bạn. Đây các bạn. Khi mình cắt dán xong một sản phẩm, mình sẽ đưa lên máy tính của mình. Tại chỗ này mình đi trường máy tính. Có cái vấn đề sau đi, mình sẽ đưa lên máy tính và mình sẽ hay dùng vào phần mềm Camtasia để chỉnh sửa và edit video. Sẽ cắt sửa các bạn video thừa ở trên Camtasia để xuất ra và đăng lên kênh của mình thôi để cho các bạn xem chiến lược. Các bạn hãy ủng hộ mình bằng nút đăng ký, like, subscribe nha. Mình có thể ra nhiều video cho các bạn xem. Các người làm việc của mình nhận diện sản phẩm và chuối này, nấm này, đây là bờ các bạn, kẻ này, nấm cơm này. Và bây giờ các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tạo ra những sản phẩm viral cho các bạn xem nào.
Anh Kiên vừa hỏi đó. Vừa hỏi là Long thì anh yêu nhau à mà làm không tập trung à?
Quản dính đai lồng.
À, giặt chung với lại những cái áo kia, cũng là có cái áo gì có cái lông không mà lông nhỉ? Áo viết lông. Con này trông mặc không đẹp.